Hi, I'm going to read another fairy tale from the Brothers Grimm. This one is called The Companionship of the Cat and Mouse. A cat and mouse wanted to live together, and so they set up a common household. They also prepared for the winter and bought a little jar of fat, but since they didn't know of a better and safer place to put it, they stuck it under the altar in the church, where it was supposed to stay until they needed it. Now, it was not long before the cat felt a craving for the fat and went to the mouse and said, "Listen, little mouse, my cousin has asked me to be godfather for her child. She gave birth to a baby boy, white and with brown spots. I'm to hold him at the christening. Would you mind letting me go out today and taking care of the house by yourself?" "No, no," answered the mouse. "Go there, and when you get something good to eat, think of me. I sure would like a little drop of that sweet red christening wine." But the cat went straight to the church and licked up the skin off the top of the fat. Then he strolled around the city and didn't return home until evening. "You must have enjoyed yourself very much," the mouse said. "What name did they give the child?" "Skin off," the cat answered. "Skin off? That's a strange name. I've never heard of it before." Soon thereafter, the cat felt another craving and went to the mouse and said, "I've been asked to be godfather once more. The child has a white ring around his body. I can't refuse. You must do me a favor and look after the house." The mouse consented, and the cat went and ate up half the jar of fat. When he returned home, the mouse asked, "What name was this godchild given?" "Half gone." "Half gone? You don't say. I've never heard of such a name. I'm sure it's not on the list of the proper baptismal names." Now the cat couldn't stop thinking about the jar of fat. "I've been asked to be godfather again for a third time. This child's all black and has white paws. Aside from that, there's not a white hair on his body. That only happens once every few years. You'll let me go, won't you?" "Skin off, half gone," the mouse said. "Those are really curious names. I'm beginning to wonder about them. Even so, go ahead." The mouse cleaned the house and put it in order. Meanwhile, the cat ate up the rest of the fat in the jar and came home stout and stuffed late at night. "What's the name of the third child?" "All gone." "All gone? Hey, now that's the most suspicious of all the names," said the mouse. "All gone? What's it supposed to mean? I've never seen it in print." Upon saying that, the mouse shook her head and went to sleep. Nobody called upon the cat to become a godfather for the fourth time. However, soon winter came, and there was nothing more to be found outside. So the mouse said to the cat, "Come, let's go get our supply that we stuck beneath the altar in the church." But when they arrived there, the jar was completely empty. "Oh," said the mouse, "now I know what's happened. It's as clear as day. You ate it all up when you went to serve as godfather. First the skin, then half, then—" "Shut up!" yelled the cat. "One more word and I'll eat you up." "All gone" was already on the tip of the poor mouse's tongue. No sooner did she say it than the cat jumped on her and swallowed her in one gulp. That's the end. So, one thing we note about the Grimm fairy tales in more of their original format is that we don't always have a happy ending, or maybe a Disneyfied ending, or even a Disneyfied story. Um, and I think one purpose of that is so that what parents do teach their children a life where they could just be complicit and ignorant and expect good things to always happen to good people or bad things to always happen to bad people. Um, it's messier than that. We don't want the mouse to get eaten, but we should have seen it coming, and I'm going to get into that. So let's look at the story. So just from the very beginning, a cat and a mouse want to live together. We already know that that's a strange and a bad idea for the mouse at least, because cats notoriously take care of mice. They eat them. So we can already see that this mouse has something against it in its living situation. So whether or not we say this mouse is stupid or ignorant or whatever judgment we make about that mouse, maybe we should realize that the mouse could have made a better decision for itself. Now, we even get to where the cat answers the questions of, well, what name did they give the child? First, skin off, the cat answers. So, I mean, clearly the cat's not the most creative out there. It's a very clear indicator, like, well, that's strange. What does that even mean? And when something is amiss, we are unwise to ignore the signal or the indicator of what something being amiss or strange might imply, because there is a reason for things the way they are, the way that people act. And so um, sometimes things are just strange, right? And we can give people grace and understand that sometimes they just say or do strange things. But when it's repeated, we need to definitely take action in some way. We need to dig deeper. And so I could give this mouse credit for the first time saying, oh, that's weird. Skin off. Like maybe that's a cat thing. I don't know. But then the second one, half gone. Like, no, what's really going on here? And the mouse doesn't do anything. It's interesting. Like this cat, once it's had a taste of this good fat, it's hard to stop and go back. Like once somebody is able to successfully acquire something or gain advantage in some way, even if it's by a dishonest means, like what the cat did. The cat was a cheater in this scenario. Um, there needs to be a good reason for them to stop, or why would they, right? We're always trying to find the advantage, and I'm not excusing cat-like behavior in this circumstance, but we want to make sure uh, that we are aware of what's really going on. And so um, one of the problems I have with the mouse and her reaction here is to just say, oh, those are weird names. I'm starting to wonder about them, but like, yeah, go ahead, do what you want, kind of thing. It seems on the face value, it's like to be so purely submissive without questioning might feel valiant, and maybe it's like conflict avoidant. It's non-confrontational, probably a go-to for a lot of people, but it lacks virtue of courage, and it lacks awareness and seeking truth and knowledge. And those things are very important in this case, because clearly it ended up actually costing the mouse her life. Um, it's interesting to think like it's not just enough to wonder, to just vocalize a question. I think of the New Testament scripture: "Ask and you shall receive; seek and you shall find; knock and it shall be opened unto you." There's more than just asking, right? Like you have to seek, you have to knock, really search things out. And I believe that the mouse in this story should have been more proactive and on guard for many reasons. First off, it's a mouse with a cat; should have been on guard for sure. Um, and it leads to this sad ending for the mouse, at least, because it's really a story of, I guess, the survival of kind of the trickiest, the fittest, the fattest in this case, the strongest, the cattiest. And the mouse probably could have lived. It's okay to speculate, I think, because it's important to learn, well, how might I have done differently, even though I didn't. So I can't blame the mouse, but I can think about how would I react in this situation. And ultimately, I came to the conclusion that I would probably be best off making sure that I didn't live with a cat if I was the mouse. And I think that's a big lesson here. If you're a mouse in some way, and I think in a lot of ways, we're mice, where we are the little ones in a situation. We might be new to something. We might be just scrounging for sustenance or for whatever we can get to make our lives better, to continue living, really. And I don't think there's any shame in being a mouse. I do think that it is unwise for mice to hang out with cats. And I know that seems like a no duh statement, but maybe we need to ask ourselves, how many times do I put myself in a situation where I am the mouse and I am placing myself in danger because I am around a cat that's going to take advantage of me and maybe will end up gobbling me up. Maybe it will squish me. Maybe it will take advantage of all the things that I do to make its life better because it can. And sometimes we just need to get out of those relationships, those situations, whatever that might be. I think it's wise of us to look for signals, stay on guard, and just avoid the cats if we're mice.